Hello and welcome. I'm Pick. Today we're talking about something simple but important, shopping habits. Whether you buy groceries, clothes, or gadgets, how we shop says a lot about our choices and our English. This episode is relaxed, slow, and friendly. We'll talk naturally and explain vocabulary so you can follow along. Ready? Let's go.
Hi, I'm Sarah. Hi, everyone. I'm glad to be here. I love this topic because shopping is, well, we all do it. It's a great way to practice everyday English and to think about money, too.
Right. Let's start by setting the scene. Imagine a Saturday. Some people go to the mall. Others scroll on their phones. There's music, bright lights, or the quiet of a simple online basket. Today, we'll walk through different parts of shopping, our habits, how we make decisions, how to tell needs from wants, and then a vocabulary spotlight. We'll close with some reflection and tips for practicing English.
Sounds good. I like how you said that, mall versus phone. It's a simple contrast, but it changes everything.
Exactly. Okay, first question for you, Sarah. Are you an online shopper or an in-store person?
I'm mostly online these days. Convenience wins. I can compare prices in minutes, read reviews, and avoid crowds. But I do still like to try clothes in a store sometimes. Texture matters. You know, how a sweater feels.
Yeah, texture. And color sometimes looks different online. For me, I'm a mix. I like the vibe of a store, the ability to touch and see scale, but I love the deal-finding power of the web. I'll check both before I buy.
Same. I'll add that the type of item matters. Groceries, I usually go in person for fresh produce. Electronics, online because of specs and price tracking. Clothes, depends on the brand.
Good point. So, we're already talking about a key idea. The shopping method depends on the product. Grocery equals often in person. Big ticket electronics equals often online. Now, what about impulse buying? Are you an impulse buyer, Sarah?
I have my moments. I try not to be. I plan most purchases, but if I walk past a bakery, I'll buy a pastry, or when there's a flash sale online, I'm tempted.
Flash sale, yes. Those are designed to trigger impulse buys. For me, I'm generally planned. I make lists. But I admit, small items, stationery, or a new mug can sneak in. I call it harmless splurging.
Splurging, I like that phrase. Harmless splurge. Sometimes it really is harmless. Other times, it adds up.
Exactly. That's important for learners. Vocabulary that describes behavior. Splurge, impulse buy, planned purchase, these words come up a lot.
Hmm. Also, I'd say my impulse buys are usually emotional. If I'm stressed, I might buy something nice to cheer myself up. If I'm excited, I'll reward myself. So emotions play a big role.
That's honest and useful. Shopping is not just logical, it's emotional. Okay, let's move to the decision-making process. Walk me through how you decide to buy something big, like a pair of shoes or a laptop.
Sure, step one, I check my budget. I ask, do I have the money or will this hurt my savings? Step two, I read reviews. I read at least three or four. Step three, I compare prices on different sites. Step four, I check return policies. If price and reviews look good and the return policy is friendly, I buy. If not, I wait.
That's a clear checklist. I do something similar. I'll add that I sometimes wait 24 hours before big purchases. It helps reduce impulse decisions. I call it the 24-hour rule.
Yes, the 24-hour rule. It's simple and effective. Sometimes I extend it, like a week for very expensive items.
That's smart. Also, looking for warranties and service options is important for electronics. If something goes wrong, is it easy to fix?
Right. Another step is talking to friends. I'll ask someone who already bought that model or item. Personal experience beats an anonymous review sometimes.
Social proof. Good term. Hearing from friends can be persuasive. Okay, quick interruption. Do you ever feel overwhelmed by too many choices, Sarah?
Ah, yes, choice overload. When there are 20 different similar phones, I freeze. I switch off and do something else.
Me too. When choices are too many, I try to narrow it down using one filter, price range or one key feature. That makes the decision easier.
Filter, exactly. And sometimes I use comparison charts on websites. Those little tables that list features, they help.
Comparison shopping, a very useful phrase. Now, let's talk about needs versus wants. This is a big one for money management and for language learners, because you'll use words like essential and discretionary.
So, how do you decide if something is a need? I think needs are items necessary for daily life. Food, a basic phone for work, warm clothes for winter. Wants are extras, a new designer bag, the third pair of shoes, those fancy headphones.
Yes, needs equals essentials, wants equals discretionary. I use a simple test. Will I be uncomfortable or unsafe without it? If yes, then it's probably a need. If I can live without it, it's a want.
That's a practical test. I also consider frequency of use. If I'll use something every day, it leans toward a need. If it's for occasional use, it's more likely a want.
Frequency is a great filter. Another tactic is to ask, does this replace something broken, or is it an additional item? Replacing is often more defensible in the budget.
Right, replace versus add. I remember once I bought 2 coffee makers in a month because the first one broke, and the second I bought because I wanted the color blue. Not my proudest moment.
2 coffee makers. Relatable. Let's talk about a personal anecdote from me. I once wanted a new jacket because a celebrity wore it. I waited 2 months and lost interest. That showed me the purchase was more about trend than need.
Trends are powerful. Marketing pushes trends, which leads us to the idea of advertising influence. How much does advertising affect your choices?
I'd say it affects everyone to some degree. Ads create desire. They make wants feel like needs. For learners, it's useful to notice words in ads. Limited time, must have, exclusive. These are emotional triggers.
Yes, watch out for limited time offer. It creates urgency and can push you into a quick decision.
Good tip. Now, let's slow down and explain some vocabulary we've used so far. We'll give simple definitions and examples. Ready?
Really?
Pick.
Impulse buy. Impulse buy. Another word, planned purchase. A buy that is thought out ahead of time. Example, I made a planned purchase. I saved for the camera. Planned purchase.
Good. Word 3, budget. A plan for spending money. Example, I set a monthly budget for clothes. Budget.
And comparison shop. To look at prices and features across different sellers. Example, I comparison shopped before buying the laptop. Comparison shop.
Pick. The rules a store has about returning or exchanging items. Example, check the return policy before you buy clothes online. Return policy.
Essential. Necessary for daily life. Example, food and a place to sleep are essential. Essential. Discretionary spending. Money spent on wants, not needs. Example, eating at restaurants is discretionary spending. Discretionary spending.
Value for money. How much good you get for the price you pay. Example, this blender is a good value for money. Value for money.
Warranty. a promise from the manufacturer to repair or replace a product if it fails. Example, the phone comes with a 2-year warranty. Warranty.
Sale, discount, and markdown. Words for reduced prices. Example, the jacket was on sale. Sale, discount, markdown.
Return that quickly? Okay, I'll add one more. Receipt, the paper or email that shows what you bought. Example, keep your receipt in case you need to return an item. Receipt.
Nice! For listeners, try repeating these words out loud and making your own sentences.
Yes, practice is the key. Now, back to habits. Do you use lists when you grocery shop pick?
Always. I make a list on my phone. Lists help avoid impulse buys in the supermarket. Also, shopping after dinner, I find, can reduce impulse snacks. If I'm hungry, I buy more.
Shopping hungry is dangerous. True story, I went grocery shopping once after a long hike. I bought 3 bags of chips. I have no idea why.
We've all been there. So, practical tips. Make a list, eat before you shop, compare prices, and read reviews. Another tip, set alerts for price drops if you're patient.
Alerts are great for big purchases. I'll add check coupon codes and cashback apps. They save small amounts that add up.
Cashback, coupons, great vocabulary. Now, I want to pause and ask you, Sarah, how do you handle returns? Is it stressful for you?
It used to be stressful, but I learned to check the return policy before I buy. If a seller has free returns, I'm more likely to try new brands online. If returns are hard, I avoid buying.
Good strategy. Free returns reduce risk. Also, keep packaging and receipts for a smooth return.
Yes, keep packaging. You never know. Okay, quick short question. Do you prefer cash or card?
Card. Mostly card. I use a credit card that gives me points. But cash is good when you want to control spending.
I'm similar. Card for convenience, cash for tight budgets. Some people track cash in envelopes. Old school, but effective.
Envelope budgeting, a classic. Now, let's talk about ethical shopping briefly. Do you consider sustainability or fair trade when you shop?
I do, more now than before. I try to buy from brands that are transparent about where they make things. It can be more expensive, but I think the long-term impact is important.
I agree. Ethical shopping often means choosing quality over quantity. Buy fewer, better items. That ties back to needs versus wants.
And repair culture. Repair instead of replace is another good habit. It saves money and reduces waste.
Right. Repair, reuse, recycle. Okay, let's create a short role play to practice. I'll be a shop assistant and you'll be a customer. Ready?
Ready.
Hi, welcome. Can I help you find something today?
Yes, I'm looking for a laptop. Something lightweight for travel, under $1,000.
Great. We have 3 models that fit. Do you need long battery life or a strong processor for video editing?
Battery life is most important. I travel a lot and don't always have access to power.
Okay. Model A has 12 hours of battery and is $899. Model B has 8 hours and is $749, but is lighter. Model C has 15 hours, but costs $1,199.
If battery life is key, Model A sounds like the best fit, and it's under my budget. Do you have customer reviews?
Yes, Model A has mostly positive reviews for battery and build quality. Also, we offer a 30-day return policy.
Perfect. I'll take Model A. Thanks.
Nice. Quick debrief. Notice the vocabulary, model, battery life, return policy, reviews. Try to shadow this short dialogue to improve pronunciation.
Good practice. Okay, now a short listening exercise idea. Listen to a store vlog or review and try to write down 5 words you hear related to shopping.
Yes, and then look up those words and make sentences. That's a good active learning step.
Before we wrap, let's give listeners a short checklist they can use next time they shop.
Checklist number 1. Set a budget. 2. Make a list. 3. Read at least 2 reviews. 4. Compare prices. 5. Check return policy and warranty. 6. Wait 24 hours for big purchases. 7. Consider if it's a need or a want.
And 8, think about longevity. Will you use it often? 9, consider ethical factors if that matters to you. 10, keep your receipt.
Perfect. Now, a quick mini vocabulary recap. We said we'd do the vocabulary spotlight and then final reflection. We already covered many words, but here are 5 to remember. Impulse buy, budget, comparison shop, return policy, essential.
Repeat them slowly with us now. Impulse buy, budget, comparison shop, return policy, essential.
Pick.
One last tip for English learners. Listen for context. Even if you don't know a word, the surrounding words often help you guess the meaning. For example, return policy. You'll hear words like refund or exchange nearby, so you can guess the meaning.
Good learning tip. Also, shadowing. Repeating phrases right after the speaker builds rhythm and pronunciation. Try it when we do the role play earlier.
Okay, final reflection. Shopping is more than buying things. It reflects our priorities, our emotions, and our values. Being mindful helps your wallet and the planet.
Yes, and from a language point of view, shopping is rich with everyday vocabulary and real-life conversations. Practice these phrases in your own context.
Thanks for listening. And if you try any of our tips, like the 24-hour rule or making a list, tell a friend or practice describing the experience in English. It's great speaking practice.
Before we go, a small homework exercise. Make a short audio or voice note of yourself describing a recent purchase in 3 parts: what you bought, why you bought it, and whether it was a need or a want. Keep it short, like 1 to 2 minutes.
Yes, then listen back and notice words you can improve, or share it with a language partner.
All right, that's our episode on understanding shopping habits. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing your insights and practical tips.
Thank you, Pick. This was fun and calm, the way shopping should be. Take care, everyone.
Take care. Keep practicing your listening and vocabulary, and happy shopping, mindfully. See you next time. Goodbye.